All right. Obviously, you guys can see what we are getting at here. We are Green Juju, and we are happy to introduce our second new product, which is the product reveal this week. Keep in mind, there's two more coming up, so make sure you come by tomorrow at the same time and Friday at the same time. But today we are going to be talking about our brand new duck bone broth. So let us know in the comments what you think about this. We're going to do a little talking about this product. Just generally, our heater just turned off, so that's sad. Kelly, why don't you tell us a little bit about this duck bone broth?
The first thing to notice is how adorable is this duck, you guys. I really like the duck. So we made this duck bone broth because if you saw yesterday, we just launched our new golden blend, and duck bone broth is the bone broth of that golden blend. So much like we did with the bison bone broth in our Just Greens, we wanted to have this as a standalone product on its own. And we're especially excited about this because we don't, as far as we know, there aren't any other duck bone broths out there. And what makes duck really unique is that it's an energetically cooling protein, which means that it's going to be really good for any kind of inflammatory conditions, and that can just be anything as simple as itchy skin. So yeah, it's free range duck bones. It's a nice thick broth, just like our bison broth, and it's a novel protein, good for cats and dogs, and we are very excited to have this coming out soon.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit too about the benefits of just bone broth generally. Because one of the great things about bone broth that you hear, pretty consistently is about how it's a hydrating food, which is definitely true. Which we love the fact that you can add moisture back to your dog's diet, but that is, in my opinion, tends to be one of the more. There are more interesting things, and I think that bone broth tends to be one of those foods that I hesitate to use the word superfood. But bone broth definitely tends to be that for me. So the first thing you want to think about is joint benefits. So all of the things that are being actually extracted from those bones are the ingredients that are simply there from those joints and from those bones. So you're getting things like glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, collagen, and collagen comes into play as well for helping, coat the digestive tract as well. So this is great for dogs that are either dealing with digestive issues or for just supporting digestive issues and, from the get-go. Because one of the things we love at Green Juju is not just only helping animals that are dealing with health issues, but starting this stuff when your animal's healthy so you can avoid, some of those health issues.
I was just going to say for the joint part, it's kind of like we talk about with the hearts for our freeze-dried treats, like heart feeds heart. Mm-hmm. Like this comes from joints, and so it's beneficial from joints. Like, that principle with food generally, that like that part of the food helps that part of the body.
Yeah, exactly right. And for me personally, I know that my dog Lua, who unfortunately passed away in her life, she was actually born with a grade 3 luxating patella, as well as she had some back leg tremoring issues. And through the use of bone broth, just generally, I was able to avoid surgery and some of those issues and take care of some of those things in a very non-invasive way. So those are the sort of health benefits we're trying to promote here. So also, one of the lesser known things about bone broth is its protein content. So the long short of it is, if your dog eats basically anything, so if it eats muscle meat or whatever it might be, the protein in that has to be converted into free amino acids, and then there's byproduct from that process, and the liver actually has to go ahead and filter out the byproduct from that process. So free amino acids, which are in bone broth from the processing part of it, are just directly absorbed by the body and don't actually have to go, so the kidney doesn't actually have to do any work. So the really cool part about the process is this protein is so efficient that it actually lessens the body's need for protein generally. So if you were to say feed, let's say 4 ounces of this a day, that's 4 grams of protein, but that's 4 grams of very, very efficient protein that will help the body need less protein overall. So don't just think about the content or the amount. Let's think about the quality of that protein as well. And then the third thing I wanted to mention too was all of the nutrients in this, be it the protein, be it the minerals, be it the all the things that we kind of previously talked about, they're all in a very high moisture environment. They're in their native moisture. So the minerals, for instance, will be in what's called colloidal suspension, which means they're suspended in moisture, which makes them far more easy for the body to absorb. So these are just a few things, and like anything in nutrition, that's really just the tip of the iceberg, right, in terms of that. But these are a few things you can take with you to say, this is why this bone broth is going to be so important for your dog or cats. I know you cat people are watching as well. Bone broth is an amazing thing for cats as well. So Kelly, we have a bison bone broth on the market, which is incredible, which you developed. So tell me how you'd use this in conjunction or around that.
So over the time I've been doing this, I hear a lot of people either their dogs may have sensitivities to feathered animals like ducks, chickens, birds, or red meat things like bison, cow. So between the bison and the duck, we have one for each. So hopefully we're covering kind of a broader base of people that have pets with sensitivities. And even better for people that have pets without sensitivities, then you can rotate between the two and just get a broader nutrient profile, which is even better. Our bone broth can be, either of the broths really, can be, like he said, for cats or dogs. This is a really great way to get nutrients into older pets who are having a hard time getting nutrients in, whether they're sick or not eating much or whatever. For puppies, it's a great way to hydrate their food while their teeth are still really, not as strong. It's a great way to entice picky eaters, and it's also a wonderful thing to use to rehydrate a dried, dehydrated, or freeze-dried food. So there are lots of uses for this. It's also really high in electrolytes, so kind of like a natural Gatorade. In the summer, I give it to Bambi as a treat all the time, almost in place of water, just to kind of get her more hydrated. So yeah.
Well, and for you senior dog owners out there and senior cat owners, think about too, your body works less efficiently as you get older. And so even from a standpoint of a healthy senior, this is a great way to introduce more and more moisture to make all of their food more absorbable, to be able to do that. So I think even if your dog is still doing great, let's work on introducing some of this stuff before we deal with these health issues, and then we'll get
and it's reducing
even better.
the burden on the kidneys as they get older, which as everything gets older, the kidneys become less efficient, right?
Exactly. So let's go into some of the comments and questions. Erica is excited, so thank you so much for that. Aileen says, are any of the Green Juju products available in Canada?
Of this new round, not yet, but otherwise, yes, everything is available in Western Canada. We haven't gotten to Eastern Canada quite yet, but we're working on it.
So Lauren's excited. Ashley says, Dr. Nick Thompson says bone broth should be fed to the cradle, from the cradle to the grave. That's a great comment. Dr. Nick
Agreed.
Thompson is a friend of mine. We're doing a fun event in the near future here. So shout out to Dr. Nick and the fact that he calls pickles gherkins, which I did not understand when I first heard it. So Joanne says, okay, Kathy says, is it greasy for dogs with yeast?
What does that mean?
I don't know exactly what you mean there. So if you could clarify that, Kathy. So Beth said, these products are launching just at the right time since Billy is coming to our store, Dogs by Design in Irwin, PA in October. I agree. I'm very excited about that date. So if you're in and around Irwin, PA, check out a Q&A I'm doing in October. I'm sure the store there, Dogs by Design, has more information. Claudia has to have it. Thank you for that. Charlene says, when will this be available?
This will be available in about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on where you are. It'll be on the website after it hits retail stores. We do not offer free shipping because we have to pay for the shipping, and we are too small to get any of those mass discounts like Amazon from UPS or anything. So unfortunately, we're not able to pay for that. Yes, good for cats. Great for cats. Cats definitely need moisture as well, and all the other things that go along with
it. So Tracy from Virginia Beach says Harriet is going to love this. Well, that's great. I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. I don't know if that's your dog or your cat. Don't be mad at me that I don't know if that's your dog or your cat. But Kathy uses the bison bone broth, so thank you. This is a great adjunct to that. So Beth asks, is it okay with dogs with pancreatic issues? Absolutely. Natalie is excited about the duck bone broth for my allergy dog with IBD. That is a great way to support the gut lining there with whatever else you're feeding. So that's pretty awesome. So we'll take a couple more questions here. Yeah, Julia says, how much bone broth should they have a day? You want to go over the serving size there?
Yeah, so on the package we have 1 ounce per 10 pounds, but that's kind of a minimum. You can definitely go over that. I think what were you doing? You were doing like 4 ounces for Lua.
Yeah, so for me, if you're wanting to go to like a therapeutic dose, you would do double the recommended dosage on the pack. And keep in mind, you know, bone broth is pretty low in calories, and also there's no dog that's going to become obese from drinking too much bone broth, right? Because of the actual nutrient makeup of the product.
On the flip side of that, we always say some is better than none. So if you have a huge dog, don't feel like, you know, you're cut out of this or anything. Whatever you do is beneficial.
Suzanne, hi to Suzanne. Melanie says, I love the bison bone broth, the only one I've found that gels. So exciting. So excited for the duck. That's awesome.
Jennifer, the order will be going out to 5 next week probably. So you're probably about 2 to 3 weeks from getting it in store.
Nate Estes, hi Nate, says this is a beautiful product, so thank you so much. I agree. You know, people know me mostly for the science aspect, but I think we have the most beautiful packaging. So, so Kathy says she has to stay away from greasy foods due to yeast, and she had, okay. Oh, are you saying fat? Like fatty foods? Yeah. Where I'm getting confused is the greasy part of it. So bone broth doesn't have any fat. It really, I mean, there's a small amount, but that actually, so this would not be a fatty food if that's what you mean by that. So, I think we'll end it on, Lauren says, I just want to thank y'all for making the most amazing products. Well, we appreciate that, and it looks like I'll leave you guys. This is kind of a longer one, so I'll leave you guys. Looks like she rotates the blends and uses some products that's really helped her dog. So thank you for saying that. So you know, keep in mind, guys, we really appreciate you guys wanting to come on and learn about these new products, and we definitely take it very seriously that we get to help the health of your animals. So thank you so much for that. So go ahead. This will be out soon. So again, this is Green Juju's new duck bone broth, and we will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern for the third out of our 4 new products. So come back tomorrow. We'll see you then. And everybody have a good night.
Bye-bye.